I'm looking at this map all week trying to stress about how I was going to prepare for it. I hope the fan feels more prepared because I instantly feel more prepared to get on my flight and head south.
Yeah, well, good. It's funny because we have a driver group chat, that like we go over, hey, where are we going to put the curbs? Where are the tire barriers going to go? And you can see in there, and I'm not going to say names, but you can see in there the people that are not excited, that are like, we won't get through 13 and 14. We won't. We're not going to fit, And then there's other guys like, me and AJ and other guys that are like, no, it's fine.
This weekend, we're crossing a new finish line. For the first time ever, the NASCAR Cup Series is going international. The destination? Mexico City. We're headed to Autódromo Hermanos Rodríguez, a track with roots going back to 1959, and it's carved right into the heart of one of the most vibrant cities on the planet. It's high altitude, over 7,200 feet above sea level, and that changes everything. The air is thinner, the cars are going to behave differently, and the drivers, they're going to be pushed to the limit both physically and mentally. The track itself, 2.42 miles with 15 turns. It has both tight technical sections and one of the longest straightaways on the entire Cup schedule. It's also a sprint, only 100 laps, 241 miles with very little margin for error. The fans, they're going to bring the kind of energy we don't see anywhere else. But here's the thing. Some drivers are flying into the unknown, while others, they've been here before. Michael McDowell, he knows this place. He's raced here. He's won here. And today, he's breaking it all down for us. All right, as promised, joined by the driver of the 71 for Spire Motorsports, a couple wins in his career, a lot of experience at the Cup Series, but winner also at Mexico City. Michael McDowell is joined. Michael, you got to be in high demand both from the media and the competitors this week when they see that big trophy next to your name heading down to Mexico City.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they count. It's from 20 years ago, but I guess it still counts.
Hey, listen, man, I'm still living on my resume from 20 years ago, so it still counts. Look, there's so much we could talk about, but this conversation I really want to make all about the racetrack because I've never been. I'm going to have to cover it on TV. I have so many questions. So just help me break it down. First, how much of this racetrack is similar to what you've run at or what the Xfinity cars have run at? Because I know there's been changes, right? In the front stretch of change and maybe the stadium area?
Yeah, so I would say from the Xfinity cars, it's actually changed quite a bit just because you guys or those guys ran that chicane on the front straightaway. You remember about halfway down, they ran a really sketchy, super sketchy chicane, which we won't have. For me, turn 1, 2, 3, and going into 4 is the same. But NASCAR's kind of cut out a section there. The Formula One cars run that turn 5, 6, 7, 8 and kind of come back into the S's, which we sort of do a horseshoe into the S's. So that's a little bit different there, a little bit shorter. But then you go into the S's, and they're not like Watkins Glen high-speed S's. It's actually fairly technical. And so you're slowly sort of building speed each S, and then you slow down kind of towards the end. So there's a rhythm to it. It's different than some of the other places that we run as far as that goes. And then the stadium for me is a different layout. We went into the stadium in the IndyCar and in sports cars, but the configuration was a little bit different. It wasn't so switchback chicane.
Right.
It was kind of like a 90 right and a 90 left, and then you went back into it. So it's a little bit different. But it is a cool place. I mean, it's kind of like this mix. I tried to explain it to Carl Edwards actually a little earlier this morning. He called me when I was getting back from the gym, and he's like, "Hey, what should I look for?" And he's been there, and so the way where it's changed is going into that stadium section. You turn into the stadium section, and then you're immediately in like very, very tight technical section, not wide at all, not a lot of runoff. So that part is going to be busy. It's going to be dicey. Restarts, passing opportunities. You're going to see a lot of action in the stadium, and I think that's why they designed it the way they designed it, right? They knew a lot of people were going to be sitting right there, and they want to see something good. And
that's right. Put the action in front of the people. So when I look at this, because it's almost overwhelming. So for the fan, I want to see if you agree with this. I have 4,000 foot front stretch, crazy speeds. that makes turn 1, 2, 3 a place to watch. So heavy braking in turn 1, couple switchbacks. Another straightaway to what I'm now calling the second section. Turn 4, the S's, as you so well described. I have a little bit like Sonoma. Like, I feel like you leave the top of the hill of Sonoma and you just keep gaining speed until you get down to this turn 10, which is the easiest one to mess up, I think, in all of Sonoma. So that's like section 2. And then the stadium is section 3. So for the consumer, right? Because it is, you're going to have to learn a whole new thing. Just start. 4,000 foot front stretch, high altitude, low drag, a little bit lower horsepower, crazy top speeds, mindset, turn 1, right? Like, is this a corner you attack? Is this your opportunity to outbrake? Like as a guy who's attacking, bring me through your mental preparation, 1, 2, and 3.
The straightaway, like you said, super long, and how you come onto the straightaway, it visually is similar to actually Indy road course. You know,
because
where
it has that sweeping entrance. You're saying because turn 15 is kind of a long. I'm looking at a map. I actually, so 15 is kind of like a longer sweeping corner, which leads you onto the straightaway.
Yeah, by the time you get straight, you're already building a decent amount of speed, or you already have a decent amount of speed. So straightaway, like you said, is very long. It's very wide too. So there's room to get fanned out there, you know. And when you head down into turn 1, you know, it's very flat. It's not a lot of elevation there. The racetrack itself is very flat.
Is it pretty smooth? Like, what's the content?
Well, it is pretty smooth, and I think, you know, because Formula One does go there, and we've seen it at COTA, we've seen it other places, with Formula One's downforce and the amount of just sheer downforce that they have, normally in their brake zones, there's going to be some ripples because they just move the earth. I mean, they literally move the earth, right? So
it's like that red light that the dump trucks come to all the time at home, right? And they have those big, like, you're basically saying the same thing, right? They actually tear up the pavement into some ripples.
Yeah, for sure. So, but turn 1 is pretty straightforward. It's like a 90-degree corner. I mean, it really is. The nice thing about it is the track itself is fairly wide there. The groove isn't. Like, you're only going to be in, you know, 8 or 9 feet of the surface, but the track's fairly wide there, and there's decent runoff. So even though you might see some big moves down there, I think you can lock up and get next to somebody going into turn 1 and run them wide without running them into the, you know, into the tech barriers or guardrail or anything like that. So I think it opens itself up to some good passing in there. Turn 2 and 3, you're going to have it worked out before you get there. It's just tight. It's actually more like the roll front straightaway chicane right there. Those curbs are going to be big, and you're not going to go through there too wide. You're just going to completely mess up your straightaway speed down the next little short chute. So hitting the curves at the right angle is going to be really important there and having a good point. And then you go down a short straightaway, but it'd still be a passing opportunity.
That's what I was going to ask. So turn 4 on my map looks rounder. But like, how much decel there? Like, is that like a double downshift? Like, how much speed do you have to knock out for that turn 4? It's impossible to tell off a printed map, right? Without it really being...
it's a real brake zone. It really is. Yeah. So I think for sure it'll be another passing opportunity, but it's all going to come off of turn 3, right? Like, if you got a run or if somebody made a mistake off of turn 3. It'll be
listen,
easy.
I smiled when you said you have to work it out through 2 and 3. I know you think that, but as the TV guy, I'm like, drivers never do. Those are the areas we should be watching, because there's zero chance that guy go on the outside of 1 doesn't think, if I can stay to his inside, I'm on the inside of 2, and I'm going to peel this guy off. Like, you guys don't ever agree. Yeah,
it's funny because Suarez and I were riding on the truck this last weekend, and we sort of had that conversation. He's like, no, man, we'll be stupid. I know we will. I'm like, you're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah.
Well, so then get through 4 and up the S's. Is that kind of same thing? Get it figured out through 4 and just try to make some time through the S's?
I think there will be an opportunity between 4 and 5 to make a move.
Okay.
Because you could sort of almost give up a little bit of the exit to set yourself up for the entry. And if you're too tidy, I think you'll open up the door for somebody to peek in there. And so depending on where you're at, you know, if you got somebody right on your bumper, I don't know if you'll be able to get all the way back right before going left for turn 5. So there might be some passing opportunities there. But beyond that, when you get through 5, 6, and then 7, before you set up for 8, I think that's another opportunity that as people are trying to get back left, you might be able to kind of shove it in there. But you're going to have to be really committed, because 8 and 9 is going to be pretty busy. and it leads on to not a straightaway, but a good acceleration point that ends up being a short chute. And then heavy braking into turn 10, and turn 10 is off camber a little bit, which I know it's hard to see on that map, but it's off camber a little bit, and it kind of wants to suck you left, which makes it easy to lock up. It makes it easy to lock up and miss that corner there. So I think
you're saying for the listener, so anytime, braking straight, it loads both front tires. The best example is like the bus stop at Watkins Glen is the biggest, baddest braking zone in the world because it's just dead straight. Versus, trying to think of a good one that's like off, like Indy, like, that funny straightaway between the flat and Indy, whatever that is, coming back to the front stretch. If you're turning and braking, one of the front tires is super pissed off.
Yeah. And too, setup wise, depending on what you do with your cambers and what you do.
Yeah. Rear bar, rear ride rate, how much weight we're putting on the front tires.
Yeah, you can carry that front tire in there and get it light. So I think that'll actually be a place where more mistakes are made than even like turn 1. Because everybody's so good now at braking, right? Like it's not like the old days where you wheel hop or you miss a shift. I mean, everybody's really efficient at it. So I think that area is a little trickier just because it is off camber and it does want to draw you into braking late and overdoing it. And then that gets you into that stadium, and the stadium is just tight and twisty with big curbs. And I feel
like we're going to a Roman Coliseum. Like we've put the fans there. We're going to slow the cars down and be like, invite you all to hit each other. Like we're going to jam this accordion together and see who's polite.
Yeah, I think there'll be time by yourself doing it tidy. I do. I think there's speed there. But it's too slow and too inviting if you have anybody around you to be tidy. You're just going to have to protect. When you think about turn 11 or 12, 12, it's actually a little bit like the Roval now. Roval turn 8.
Yeah, the new big horror. So that's like a mirror check, right? Like you're lying into that. You're going to be like, you're going to make a mental note, like, am I running for speed or am I trying to not get wrecked here?
That's right.
It's kind of a mirror check, pick an entry line. Mirror check, pick an entry line, whether you arc it in or whether you kind of straight shallow it in.
Yeah, and you know how it is. When it's that slow, it's inviting to run into people. It just is, just because you're like, I'm going to come off the brake a little bit.
It's like driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic out of the parking lot. I'm like, I want to hit this guy in front of me. I wouldn't hit him on the interstate, but right here, I just want to run into the guy. I want to get in line.
Yeah, and then, as you come out of there, it's really tricky because the exit is so narrow. There's a concrete wall as you come out of the stadium, and then there's a curb, and that curb, even in Formula One cars, they sort of straddle it. But it's a weird, upsetting moment as you're getting set up to brake straight just to get into turn 14. And that's the one area where I have a lot of questions of, how much will you actually be able to straddle it? Are you going to be sitting on the diffuser, right? No, we have the simple diffuser at this, but you don't want to take any material off. You know what I mean? So you're thinking about all those things of like, trying to envision what it's going to be like without being there, just because that section's new to me. It's new to, unless you've raced Formula One there, it's going to be pretty much new to all of us. So and then you go into 14 and 14 will be easy, I think, too, to lock up, because it has actually a little bit of camber and it kind of sucks you into the bottom there. But it'll want to invite you to challenge the brakes, to just keep challenging it. And then obviously coming onto the straightaway is going to be critical. I mean, anytime you have a corner that leads onto a straightaway, let alone a 4,000 foot straightaway, you're going to want to be good in 14 and 15. I mean, that's how you're going to defend. That's going to be how you pass. And, you go through your simulation setups and you go through all these things, but we don't know what the grip level is actually going to be. Right. We don't know if we're pacing 2 seconds off or 5 seconds off or 2 seconds slow. So, trying to have a setup that's a little bit versatile to that of, what if we are chasing rear grip there and it's hard to put the power down. So
I feel better. I'll be honest. I was looking at this map all week trying to stress about how I was going to prepare for it. I hope the fan feels more prepared because I instantly feel more prepared to get on my flight and head south.
Yeah, well, good. It's funny because we have a driver group chat, that we go over, hey, where are we going to put the curbs? Where are the tire barriers going to go? And you can see in there, and I'm not going to say names, but you can see in there the people that are not excited, that are like, we won't get through 13 and 14. We won't. We're not going to fit, you know? And then there's other guys like, you know, me and AJ and other guys that are like, no, it's fine. Like, it's a real racetrack. It's a proper racetrack. We race at the Roval.
Right.
All right.
So what I've learned is I covered a Daytona road course race, COVID, no practice, never a lap on the track, and it all worked. So I know you guys are going to work it out. Michael, I know you have somewhere to be. I have somewhere to be. It's a great week. It's an exciting week for NASCAR International the first time. I can tell by your enthusiasm, you're ready to get down there. Even with the unknowns, you look pretty excited and ready to get going. So I appreciate you taking the time for the fans.
Yeah, this is our weekend to go win one, and we know it, so we're ready.
Well, they could inspire better each and every week. McDowell, a huge part of that. Michael, appreciate you taking the time, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So thankful Michael took some time breaking down a brand new racetrack we're all going to see. But listen, this isn't the first time NASCAR has been international. Take a sneak peek right here. American Thunder, NASCAR to Le Mans, out June 12th.
Le Mans is the biggest race in the world. It's a 24-hour race. It's about survival, pushing man and machine to the limit. We're going to race in NASCAR at Le Mans.
We're going to do what?
There's a stereotype that NASCAR isn't as technologically advanced as other racing series.
In 1976, Bill France took a couple of NASCARs to Le Mans.
One made only 2 laps.
Our goal was to make sure that we beat my father's record.
Mike Rockefeller,
Jimmy Johnson,
Jensen Button.
you're not going to get bigger star power. Hendrick Motorsports is NASCAR's most successful, most powerful team. If you were going to choose a team, this was the team you wanted to choose.
We're going to do this right. Whatever it takes, we're not going to be embarrassed.
we had to battle and fight and claw.
3, 2, 1.
You always enter a race with a strategy, but rarely do things play out as you would hope.
It's raining hard out there.
I don't have a ton of wet driving experience.
Jimmy's coming down the back straightaway. He's like, I think the car's on fire.
We might not make it back out there.
We want to show the world we were ready.
We have one shot and one opportunity to go and make this successful.
This car is so loud. The other cars are whizzing by, just pew, pew, pew. And then